Hey, it's your boy, Sergeant Hooked on Henshins. So we're talking about today, of course, this is the review slash recap of episode 37 of Kamen Revice. I will say up front that the 30s have been a little bit rocky for Revice. I don't by any means hate the things they've been trying to do recently story wise, but I do think the pacing would have been better, could have been handled differently, and there's things they could have done. Like I've said before, they could have. I feel like they should have introduced Akaishi as a threat way earlier than right now. He's just kind of not. He's just like super invincible man who always knows what's going on and is never surprised by anything and always wins, and it's really irritating and I don't like it. Um, Same thing goes with Daiji. Daiji has had a really rough few, like a rough streak of things ever since getting Holy Live, basically, as a form. Pretty much the beginning of the show, all the way through to Olteka's departure, if he comes back or not, who knows, was awesome. And it's like after that, they kind of struggled with what they were going to do. And I think another part of that too is that they needed to establish earlier on what they were going to do with GIF. Is GIF going to have a voice and be a character and have like a presence, or is he just like a force of nature type bad guy like Game Day S from X8? So, those things aside, I still really enjoyed the series. I think it'll still be very close to my top five, but there's just a few issues. Not as many issues as I had sometimes throughout watching Zero One, and definitely none of the things I had watching Saber. We don't talk about Saber. But that aside, so coming off of last week with Hana, and she became, she got to be Comrade Aguilera and all that, really cool. So this one kind of has a bit of a everybody on the run type of thing. So her and Hikaru, who is now over demons, whatever, are going to be taking on some of the like grunts. Basically, Phoenix keeps using, like Akaishi keeps using the one like stamp thing. It's making the Gift Junior, the what's that called? The henchmen or whatever, and they keep popping up and having to be destroyed or whatever. And Daiji's starting to get tired of it. Daiji eventually, breaks a little bit and says that basically how he feels is that there's nothing they can do to defeat Gift. There's no way to defeat him, so they should just give in. Like Akaishi is telling the public that they should just, like if you don't attack or irritate Lord Gift, he will not, retaliate. So we should do that, and blah blah blah, and make sure you get stamped. Except getting stamped basically sends your soul to Gift and you're dead. So the people don't know that. So Daiji essentially says he agrees with them, that he would rather have peace, even if it means sacrificing a bit of freedom. And Ikki instantly dislikes that. And he's like, what do you mean? What? And he's like, well, when you think about it, he's like, what, would you rather have freedom rather than peace? And he's like, well, no. Neither one of those things should be happening, at the opposite of each other, at the expense of one another. There should be peace and freedom. If there's freedom, there really isn't truly peace. If there's only freedom, there really isn't truly peace. And if there's only peace, there's not really, like there are two things that have to, both coincide. And I really like this because again, there's a lot of this show that starts to harken back and like, utilize and build upon things we got in original Ichigo, talking about, the cost of human lives and keeping people safe, protecting them no matter what, and protecting peace and freedom. Making sure that people, yes, are safe and won't be hurt, but that they also have the freedom to live their lives the way they want to. The way that Akaishi and Giff are doing things, that's not possible. Sure, people may not die in the way you see it normally, being destroyed by demons and all of that, but they won't really have freedom. They won't be able to live their life and do anything because it's possible something they do might irritate Gift where they get killed. So I do like the concept and what they're going for with this, at least. I don't hate the story they're doing with Daiji right now, where he's just like, so out of the three, Igarashi siblings, he's so tired of like fighting all the time that he's given up. That makes sense. It's very human. And I like it because it's not often you see that with a writer where they're just like fucking exhausted and like, I'm done, let's just give up. See her there, but not to that extent. And I kind of like the idea of it. The execution is nah. And I've said this many times before, I'm not getting his fascination slash love or whatever it is for Akemi. I get that Akemi is like a human life and like you want to save people and blah, 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 but they're treating it like, as it was the same issue I had with the Kagero thing. Like the Kagero thing when they fought in the one episode where he got Holy Live, like they try to make it like sad that Kagero lost. And it's like, except Kagura was always a dickhead to him, was only ever sort of kind of nice to Sakura, and never really reformed in any way. Like, there's nothing here. It's not like it'd be different if something like that comes around and happened with somebody like Icky and Vice, because like Vice is an actual physical manifestation demon, and we see him every day and blah blah blah, every episode and whatever. Um, and same here. It's like Akemi gets introduced about the same time as Akaishi did, and for what reason? For what reason? Just to like superimpose a love interest in there for Daiji, I guess. And I don't even know that for sure that he if he feels that way, or if he just like didn't. She's an innocent life and doesn't want her to get taken away or something. Whatever. So anyway, they come up with a plan. George ends up more working with his dad, and we get some more George stuff, which I really like. And we'll get to that in a minute. He modifies Buried Rex so that Vice and Icky both can use their full Buried Rex like ice forms. Because remember, with Volcano Rex, Icky got the full volcano fiery thing, and Vice got the full ice thing. Well, now with just Buried Rex, or just the little baby T-Rex and the egg, they can both use their ice forms together, and they'll need it because they need both their ice powers have been augmented. They want to freeze Akemi, bring her to the lab, extract her gift cells, and use that to power up the form, the final form thing, the Giffard Rex new Vice stamp. Looks really cool. Um, and so that's the plan. So that's what we're going to go do. So Vice and Icky and Sakura are going to do that, while Hana and Hikaru keep the, henchmen at bay. We do get to see a full henshin sequence with both Hana and Hikaru, which I'll give him credit. His henshin pose was cool, but again, it just bothers me because I don't feel like he deserves to be over demons. I think that it would make a lot more sense if it was Daiji. I think it would make a lot more sense if it was Hiromi, especially with the end of the episode stuff. We'll get there, or just not him. Again, it's the same issue I have with Akaishi and Akemi, is that they are introduced so late. I mean, like, he was there fairly early on, but he was introduced late, and then also we don't get any episodes filling in the blanks that he wants to be a hero, and he wants to protect Sakura, but that's it. It verges on him like being a stalker, and it's weird. Like, he clearly sees her and Hana having a thing, and he's like, "But I want to keep you safe." And it's like, why? Do you not see her kicking ass all over the place? Like, do you really think she needs your help? That bothers me too. And it's like, if we would have gotten some episodes after he's introduced where like he's like idolizing her, like let's say he's like all of a sudden like is idolizing Icky, like, oh my god, he's so cool, and like constantly in the background we see little scenes with him trying to like fight a little bit, or like maybe he does that for a while and then all of a sudden they're fighting, Giptarian, he comes in and tries to help even though he can't transform. Like, that'd be cool. But they've not really done a lot with the Weekend group other than, George Karazaki's, Daddy Karazaki, kinda. And even him, to an extent, they haven't done like a ton. We get way more of him in the Veil series than we really get in this. So again, I like the idea of Weekend and their group, but I don't feel like they've had enough characterization to warrant a member of them, of that trio, the mom, dad, and Hikaru, getting a form, or getting a rider form, being able to be a rider. I think it's a little odd. And it just doesn't feel as earned as I was hoping it would. So anyway, he has his own little henshin pose, whatever. They transform, they're fighting the henchmen. Sakura is helping Icky and Vice, who are fighting Akemi, actually, and that one Hell Giftarian thing, he says he's the embodiment of Gift. And like every attack that they throw at him, Sakura throws at him, doesn't work, which is pretty crazy. She's getting her butt kicked. So they eventually kind of are able to push him back somehow. I can't remember how that goes. I think, how does that happen? Somehow he like gives up, or he retreats or whatever. Because even Thundergale is like not able to stand up to him. But anyways, they're fighting Akemi. They finally go into their double Buried Rex ice form, and they get her frozen. And Daiji at this time is fighting a bunch of the Giftarian, soldier things and whatever. And untransforms and sees what they're doing and runs over. And before he does, Akaishi comes down and hand Gifu vagina thing opens on his hand and shoots a laser through Akemi. She's frozen, like, great, cool, they're gonna do the thing, get the cells out, save her life, and create the power up, two birds, one stone. And she gets killed. She gets blasted right through the chest with a laser from, Gifu Akaishi portal vagina hand. And she's dead. And of course, he disappears right afterwards. So of course, Daiji's dumbass is like, Icky, how could you let this happen? And he starts like beating the shit out of Icky, and Icky's just like taking it. Which like I don't hate Icky's part of the scene. I really don't. Um, Daiji's, I don't. Again, I don't understand his connection. If Akemi was like revealed to be this like childhood friend of his who eventually they both joined Phoenix, and he's always had a thing for her, and she's maybe had a thing for him, but he doesn't know, and he's never really told her how he felt and been honest about his feelings. That's different. But she's just randomly introduced, and it's like I need to save her. But what about humanity, bro? Like, are you doing all this for a little bit of play, for a little bit of bow chicka wow, really, bro? Like, I don't know about that. So anyway, he runs over. He's pissed. And he's like beating the shit out of, trying to like punching the shit out of his brother, and Nicky's just taking it because he kind of feels bad that that it happened to Akemi. And as he tries to like the last punch, he's about to hit him again. Of course, at this point they don't for some reason they're not letting Vice be physical and like stop him. Somebody grabs his arm at the last minute. Camera turns and he says, "I'm back," and it's Hiromi. Hiromi's back. I'm really excited about that. So overall, this episode was decent. Again, I don't really like Akaishi. I do wish that there were more like human demon general type people to be there besides Akaishi, because I just want them to get to fighting Gifu and ending things soon, because I just again they need to make the distinction as is Gifu a like force of nature type evil like the game Deus virus and things of that nature, or like Arc was before it became a rider, um, or is it gonna be I'm GIF and blah 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 and have like a personality and stuff? We have maybe 10 episodes, 10, 11 episodes to do that. So I'm really worried about how they're gonna do that. Next week does show in the preview for the next episode. Their backup plan is to have Genta um, give up his Gifu cells to power up the final form, and that it might kill him or something like that. I'm wondering if there's going to be a bait and switch where like the reason for that is that he tries to transform one more time, and maybe it'll be kind of like the special where he transformed without Veil inside the driver and it nearly kills him. I wonder if that'll happen again, and he'll give up his cells and then find out that he has to help fight and then try to fight and then die or whatever. It'll be sad. I kind of saw it coming that somebody would die in the family. I don't know if I thought that it was going to be Genta necessarily, but I kind of saw it coming that it was possible. And I do like the idea that their final form will be powered by the cells from their own dad. I think that's kind of cool. Still hits on the like family aesthetic of the season. What is this in my face? Go away, Avast antivirus. Anyway, so I do like that. Again, this episode wasn't awful. I'd probably give it like a strong like, probably strong like 8ish out of 10. I just wish they knew truly what they were going to be doing going forward with Daiji. Is he going to stay with this whole evil route thing here, whatever, and like stay on the side of Akaishi or whatever, or is he going to switch or whatever? Oh, I'm sorry, I meant to get back to it too. So George Karzaki has some stuff with his dad, right? So he's talking to a grave. There's like a gravestone that has Masumi's name on it because he thought he was dead, clearly. And he's talking about how basically he kind of wishes he was dead because it's like super awkward to really like talk to him right now, and he kind of feels like he was abandoned by him and blah blah blah, and that he just wants to like impress him and show him that he's really intelligent too. And so we get like little young kid George like really sad at his dad's grave talking to it also. And I kind of like that. I like that. And we also see him bring the design of Gifford Rex, or whatever they call it, to Masumi as well, his dad, and him being impressed by it. And I think that was really cool. I think it's a little late to give this like little bit of a backstory thing to him, where he has like some daddy issues and stuff like that. But I mean, like I still like George enough as a character, and he's not, in my opinion, done anything too crazy to where it bothers me that much. I don't feel like he paid enough for the whole Hiromi, keep using that driver. It definitely doesn't have any side effects thing, but I think overall he's still a fun character, and I'd still like to see something done with him, going forward and everything, being the rider fan he is and all that. So anyway, like I said, this week's episode, it was all right, 8 out of 10. Next week's looks really good. The final form is beautiful, and I love. Somebody made mention before the form debuted. I think they were like, we've been seeing a thing a lot lately where certain seasons will have like a movie only like specific original writer, and that writer's suit will sometimes influence the final form. So with 01, we had that 001 thing with the Heisei generation, or not Heisei, the Reiwa, the first generation, that, like, you know, when you use the Rising Hopper key, but in the Force Riser, and then his final form ended up being another take on 01's, like base form, right? Same thing with Cross Saber. In the Summer movie, there was something there that pointed to what Cross Saber was going to look like. Same thing here. We have Kamen Rider Century, who had the clear chest piece and the clear, you know, part to the face mask and everything else, and now the final form, Ultimate Revian Vice, or Ultimate Revice, whatever, have that going on, where they have the, like, see-through, clear-looking, you know, chest piece and face mask thing. So I think that's really cool. I like the design. Check it out. I'll try to find a way. Probably next week's review we'll have a picture of that to kind of show you guys what it looks like as the thumbnail. But it looks really cool, and so does the gimmick item is cool. It's like this two halves, like it's like a Rex face, and you pull it apart, and one half is Vices and one half is Revies, and they each use their own Revice driver, which I thought was pretty cool too. So, but anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Did you love the episode? Did you hate it? In the middle, what do you think is going to happen with Daiji? What do you think is going to happen with Genta? Do you also despise Akaishi, or do you somehow like him? Can you explain it to me? Can you sell me on that somehow? But as always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys so much. We're right about 280 subscribers, which is insanity to me. Love to see 300, but who knows? I just really appreciate you guys being a part of things and being along with me for the journey. But as always, stay hooked on Henshin's. I'll talk to you later. Bye, 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 bye.